15 minutes late, so I do apologize for that. And other people start coming in, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, I noticed this the other day on a short. I think that's what I'm going to have to do from now on because I don't have access yet to the content where I could post stuff. Like some people, I guess, if there's a certain amount of subscribers, they can like post things where they can tell them, "Hey, I'm going live at such and such time." I don't have that availability because I don't have that many subscribers. So um, I'm going to be doing it by short. So if you ever find that I'm doing a live, it'll be in a short. At least for right now, because like I said, I don't have the content manager to where I can switch it to where I can make a post. So I'm probably going to be doing this for about 25 minutes. So it won't be a long one today, but it'll be one that'll be interesting, I think. Like I said, I'll give it a few more minutes to get people to come in. So I know about 9 or 10 people saw the short, so hopefully maybe a couple of them will come in. I know Philip was talking to me about him wanting to be here, so yeah. But today, I did want to talk about cigars, even though I don't have one in my hand. Um, I love cigars. They're one of my favorite things to enjoy. I mentioned before in my weight loss video, I don't really have a lot of vices. I don't have, like, I don't drink very much, like, rarely if ever. Um, I had a friend of mine drink himself to death, and after that, it pretty much killed anything in me to do that. So I just stopped. Like, he literally drunk himself to death. So, um, yeah, so it has affected me deeply. So I maybe drink maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, but besides that, not very much. So I don't drink a lot of soda. I mean, I like Mexican Cokes, but who doesn't? I mean, I do have one every now and then. And then I also here let me roll this window up. And so I may get strike for that. Sorry, it's Spanish music. But anyway, yeah, so that's the reason why I smoke cigars, because I like the way they taste, and it makes me really think and relax. And I like that about the whole entire process. And I will do a video on how to cut one. Like I did a video on how to like have the different methods of cutting a cigar. Only thing I don't have is scissors. I don't have cigar scissors because I just prefer V cut. So why would I waste money on a scissors when I would never really use it. Um, I will say this though. So speaking of cigars, let's get into it. So when you go to cut a cigar, okay, if you were in the first time and you're going into a cigar shop, I have seen some of the most nastiest things I've ever seen in my life in there. And I'll tell you why. People will, like, let's say it's just a cigar, right? They will unwrap the cigar, stick it in their mouth like that, and then cut it using the public cutter. I mean, the cutter that everyone is supposed to use inside the cigar shop. I have seen this, and that's why I never use the public cutter, because I have seen a guy take it and do exactly what I'm talking about, wet the end of it, and then cut it. Yeah, so which is why my other keychain, which I don't have with me, but I always keep a punch. So if for whatever reason I forget any of my cutters that I have, I always have a punch that I can just punch in the middle and twist, and then it will open a hole. I do not use public cutters. Just don't do it. I don't think it's a good idea. I did mention in a previous video that I like to use matches. So you can use a torch lighter, and honestly, torch lighters are great. I really do like using torch lighters. It's just I like lighting them on matches. I mean, the cigar matches are longer than normal. They're about this long, and it usually takes about 3 or 4 of them to light the entire cigar. But the only time you can really use them is if you're inside. So torch lighters is nice as well. But I prefer using the matches. I do, and they sell them usually at any store. And the cedar spills, you can use those as well. But I just do prefer the matches. I always have. Um, and because some cigars, you can overheat it and you can really char it, and that's why like if you're in a hurry or you're not paying attention, you could char the end of it, and you don't really want to do that. So and that's why I like using a soft flame, because it's relatively easier to light. There is one cigar that I really enjoy. It's the Arturo Fuente Hemingway series. It has a little tip at the end of it and you can light it with anything. I mean, you don't even have to toast it. You just light it. It has like a little thing. You can light it with a match. You can light it with a torch. You can light it with just about damn near anything, and it will light. And when it first starts burning, it'll burn uneven, but I've never had one not self-correct. And I think it's designed to do that, so they put it in the design to where they have it to where it'll actually go ahead and do what it's supposed to do as far as correct itself. So, I mean, a lot of people would take points off of that, but this the way it's designed, I don't know why you would do that, because it's designed to do that. So it doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, but the Hemingway, I like those. I like anything with a Cameroon wrapper. So they're different wrappers in cigars. If you were to start out, I would strongly suggest, if you've never smoked a cigar before, the one that I would strongly suggest is a Monte Cristo White Series or a Macanudo White Label, I think is what it's called. Either one of those two are perfect. Or Olivia O, the O series, the Connecticut. That's another one. My favorite cigar that is like smooth, creamy, mellow, that's not a Cuban, is the Monte Cristo White series. It is absolutely beautiful. And my uncle, or not my uncle, my godfather, he's been smoking them for like 20 years, I think, cigars. And him, I mean, he lived in Europe for a while, so he's had Cubans as well. But in his humidor, he always at least has a box of Monte Cristo White series. That's his favorite. And then they made I think it was the vintage edition that they made, and the vintage edition was awesome. It tastes a little different than the regular, but it's still really smooth and an amazing cigar. Yeah, I would strongly suggest that. And then the next one, if you're looking for like a step up, something you want to try something a little different, I would say go with like a Sumatra wrapper, like Leaf by Oscar Sumatra. That is an amazing cigar. It is just beautiful. I mean, it is a beautiful cigar. It has a wonderful taste to it, and I just don't think you can beat it for the price. I really don't. I don't think you can beat that cigar for the price. And the way it comes wrapped is really cool. It's like wrapped in a cigar leaf. You have to open it like a little gift, because it is a little gift. Actually, it is a little gift in my opinion. And I think that they do have other ones as well. I think they have Maduro. I think they have a natural or Connecticut as well. But the Sumatra is my favorite out of the entire series, and it is awesome. There's no doubt about that. I've never had anyone tell me otherwise. As far as if they tried it, they're like, "This is a really good cigar," and it's not strong. So that's another thing too. Many people say, "Well, you can look at the lightness of the wrapper, and you can tell the strength." That's not necessarily the case. Some are extremely strong, depending on what you're looking at. And yeah, you may not even know it, but I'm just telling you stuff on top of my head that's relatively mild, medium, and you'd be able to smoke it. Now, do keep in mind, if you are starting to smoke stronger stuff, which we're fixing to get into, is so Cameroon is my favorite. It's not very strong, not strong at all in my opinion. Um, and yeah, it's just not strong. And then you have the flavor is like an earthy flavor and coffee, and I like that a lot. So that's why I prefer it, because I do like coffee. I'm a coffee drinker, so it goes really well with that. And along as the Connecticut as well, so that's another thing. Usually I will smoke a cigar, and then I also have a Dr. Pepper at the same time. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'll talk to you about it right now. But if you do get a stronger cigar, I would strongly suggest, and we'll get into that, is what you do is you eat a meal, like you eat lunch, breakfast, or dinner, okay? And I would strongly suggest getting something with sugar in it. Sugar actually counteracts the effects of nicotine, so if you have a strong cigar, and I mean, there are some, like on top of my head, what is it? Uh, it's not coming to my head right now. La Gloria Cubana, there you go, that's the one. There's some, and then there's the LFD series. Some of those are just fucking strong. I mean, about quarter, halfway down the stick, and for me, it makes me feel woozy and strange. That's another thing. If you start to feel woozy and strange, stop. And if you've never smoked one before, do not get a large cigar. I mean, when I mean a large cigar, I'm talking about in lengthwise. Tell the guy at the counter, hey, this is my first one. More likely than not, they'll give you like a Corona size, and you don't need nothing or like a Panatella size or a Lonsdale size. You don't need nothing bigger than that. Like if you get a Churchill, you're liable to get sick, and then it won't be a good experience for you. You don't want to do that. In my experience, I've seen this before, where people think it's funny to give people stuff that they've never had before, and it's like giving someone a shotgun that's never used it before, and they end up injuring themselves. Why would you do that? I don't think it's funny to me. I think as many people as you can get into our hobby, the better off that it is. So I really honestly believe that the better off that you have as far as getting something mellow, something smaller, like a smaller ring gauge. Uh, the thing with the bigger ring gauge, a lot of the times that I've seen is depending on how large it is it goes out sometimes a lot easier. You have to puff on it constantly, which can really, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll start puffing on it constantly. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. And when you start puffing on it, you'll get a lot of it hitting your head, and you'll feel like whoa, whoa, whoa. And then that goes for the smaller ring gauges as well. Like for example, Lancero size, like a 38 ring gauge, it'll be it can go out on you if you don't puff on it. So I do prefer smaller ring gauge cigars when it comes to like Lancero and Lonsdale's. If you really want the flavor of the cigar, in my opinion, they taste better. I do like, for example, I do like my favorite cigar of all time is the Arturo Fuente, which I was talking about earlier with the Cameroon wrapper. Arturo Fuente, uh, Don Carlos is my favorite cigar that is not a Cuban. The Presidente or the number two, just fucking beautiful cigar. It lasts about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you can enjoy it anywhere and smoke it. So that's one thing I like about it, and it has a really sweet smell to it. So that's always a benefit. Some people don't like the way cigar smells, so yeah. Another one that I would try is the. So if you have done the Connecticut's, the uh, Cameroon, and the Sumatra, the next one I would try is like Connecticut broadleaf. Those are pretty flavorful. They're not very strong. Um, and I really do like those a lot. Uh, so the next one that I'm going to get into is Ipicarillo. I really like his cigars a lot. The San Andreas Valley in Mexico, they make a lot of cigars there. And I'm trying to I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Parientes. I like that cigar a lot. It has a turquoise band at one side and a red band on the other side. That is a San Andreas cigar, and holy shit, does it have flavor in it? It's awesome. I don't know. It's not strong at all. It's just packed with flavor. It is just awesome. I don't know how else to describe it. And I like a lot of his cigars like that. Like he has the Pledge, which won the cigar of the year last year, and every single cigar I smoke from him, it's not strong, but it just packs flavor. And sometimes people get confused between strength and flavor. They're not necessarily uh, intertwined. You can have something that has a lot of flavor. Now, what I mean by strength is, I mean like it can really like make you sick, is what I'm talking about. If you get like a really really dark, like a Squirtle wrapper, which is really really dark tobacco, those are generally really really strong. Some people like them, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I like about cigars. There's such a huge waft of difference, but I would never give someone a cigar with a Oscuro as their first cigar. There's no way I would do that, no matter what the size, because the risk of them getting sick is extremely high. Yeah, but the Ipicarillo, that's the next one I would go to. I would try the. Can't remember the name of the top of my head. Ipicarillos, that's the one that they had, and then they had the Ipicarillo, the Pledge, the blue one that he released. That's an awesome cigar. And then if you tried those after that, I would try out. So this is about where I go to. So I will go to, let's see here, the Maduro. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Damn it. It's not coming to me. I had it and I lost it. Okay, sorry. I'm getting older, so it happens, I guess. And the next one that I would strongly suggest is, what is it called? The Rosado. The Rosado wrapper is really good. Oh, Libby Jus, sorry. I would try the Rosado from Arturo Fuente. I think it's a Rosado wrapper. I can't remember. It's like Antonio. It starts with an A, I think I remember correctly, the name of it. It's about a 52 ring gauge. Those are on the spicier side. I really do like those a lot. Now, if you're starting to want to get into more of a strength side and starting to get more into flavor, I would try the Libby Jus 1922. It's not really strong, but it does have a lot of flavor, so please do keep that in mind. Livigio 1922, and about where those two are, I stop. I don't go any more than that. I've tried like the Lagoria Cubanas, and I had to put it down about halfway through. I've tried the the LFD. Yeah, man, it's the red label. That one, oh man, I got about halfway down the cigar, and I was like, dude, I gotta put this out, or I'm gonna die. So I, I just laid there in the chair with my arms out, defeated. It defeated me. And I had eaten dinner, and then I also had a Dr. Pepper, so I was doing the best I could. But man, it was really, it really took me out of action there. It really did. It was not fun at all. So yeah, I hated that a lot. Yeah, I didn't find it interesting. Um, and the next thing that I would say is if you're going to smoke a cigar, figure out what time that you have. Like, if you only have like 45 minutes, then get like a Corona or Lonsdale. Like 45 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes, get like a Corona or Lonsdale. If you got like an hour and a half, 2 hours, get a Churchill or get a double Corona, which is like 2 or 3 hours. Depends on what size you got. So, how long you have to smoke it. The thing you don't want to do is get like a Churchill size and you get 30 minutes to smoke, because you're gonna be puffing and puffing and puffing on it. Then you're gonna heat it up and it's gonna taste like shit because you've heated it up. And yeah, it's just not going to be a good experience. So don't do that. If you only got a certain duration of time, do not get a large cigar. But if you have a lot of time and you just want to get out and get a smaller one, so pay attention to that. So, and it doesn't necessarily mean, there are some cigars that are small and they will burn slowly. So please do keep that in mind. And they're designed that way. So there are some that could be Corona size and they could last maybe an hour, hour and 50 minutes. That's the way that it's wrapped. So it burns really slow. It doesn't burn hot, and that's not you. That's just how it's designed. So I can't think of it off the top of my head. I have smoked a few, but it's not coming to my memory as I'm go, because I just, like I said, I like what I like, and that's it. What I like to do a lot of the times is I'll watch like JR Cigars, which is a really good company. I like watching his videos. He does a lot of top fives. What I'll do is anything I've tried, I'll take a screenshot of the description. Anything I try to put a mark through it, and then next time I go to the cigar shop, I look at all the cigars I haven't tried, and if they have them in stock, then I'll go and I'll buy that cigar. So that's usually what I do. Um, what I also have done is try to talk to the local people in my area. Like, I have a whole bunch of humidors here, like Club Humidors here. We have Redland Cigar Club here in San Antonio. We have Finks. Finks is the one that I always like going to for personal reasons. I always like Finks. They let you kind of walk around, and if you, I've had customer service just wonderful at Finks and never had any issues out of them. Other places I won't badmouth them, but I have not had as wonderful experience in my opinion. And I really do like the Finks. I like the one in downtown. I like the one in Helotes, which is right outside of San Antonio on the west side. And then you have, I'm trying to think, the one on Fifth Ave, or was it West Avenue? Is it West Avenue or Main Avenue? I can't remember. But it is, I've never been to that one, so I can't comment. But as far as I know, it's a really smaller one. It's like a house converted into a cigar shop, so it's a relatively small one, as far as I understand from what I remember. And it does have a patio, I think. All the Finks really have a patio besides the Lotus. It doesn't really, they just have chairs and umbrellas outside, and that's about it for a patio for them. I will say this. I did like the atmosphere inside of them. So every employee I've talked to at Finks, they let you, like, well, not really let you. Look, some places, well, they let you. They say, hey, go in. If you got any questions, just let us know. And if they see you and they're running around, you don't know what you're doing. 'Cause some people are really nervous and they're real friendly. Hey, what are you looking for? Is it your first one? They're real kind. And then I've had a couple of them that will follow you in. And I never thought about this until I went to Canyon Lake. There's a cigar shop at Canyon Lake that is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the guy's really friendly. And I was talking to him about the service I received at that cigar shop. And he's like, yeah. People do that so they don't steal, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, why would you steal a cigar? But then again, he said, that's the problem, you're an honest person, you wouldn't think about doing that. I said, no, I would not ever steal from anybody. If I work too hard to steal from somebody, I'm not going to go to prison or get fined for stealing a $10 cigar. There's no way I would do that. But yeah, I would never think of doing something like that. But he was talking about, and I just don't like that. Finks just has a hands-off approach, and I've talked to him too sometimes, like, hey, I'll get on a kick where, hey, do you got anything Sumatra? Hey, do you got anything like that's a Maduro that's brand new? Do you have any? That's the best thing about cigars, is I try not to smoke limited editions. And the reason why I don't want to smoke limited edition is because if I get attached to it, I won't see it again. It breaks my heart, that sometimes it's just limited edition. There's nothing you can do about it. You start smoking it, you're like, this is a fucking beautiful cigar. And you just never see it again. Like, for example, my favorite Cuban cigar that I like is the Trinidad Vigia. Holy cow, that cigar is awesome. I love that cigar. That is my favorite Cuban cigar, is a Trinidad Vigia. Holy cow, it's just, it tastes just like a graham cracker, but it has a sweet flavor to it. Oh man, it's like a hay graham cracker and just sweetness to it. That's just chef's kiss. It's awesome. And anytime I go to Mexico, I try to find them, and now I can't find them online. Like Monte Fortuna and Cigar One, they're all out of Trinidad Vigias. They have like the Reyes, and I forgot the other one on the top of my head. I never tried the Fundadores, but I have tried the Vigia, and the Vigia is just an awesome size. That is an amazing cigar for Cuban. That's my favorite Cuban cigar. I've tried Bolivar. I've tried Cohiba. Tried Monte Cristo number two. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Uh, Hoya de Monterrey. I think, no, wait, is it Hoya de Monterrey? I can't remember it. No, that's not it. It'll come to me eventually. H. Upman, sorry. H. Upman is another one. My favorite is a Trinidad Vigia. I love that one. And as many as you know, like I said, my wife is a Mexican, so we do go back and forth to Mexico. And I like in Mexico, they're legal, obviously. So Merida, we used to go to Merida, which is in Yucatan, down in the southern part of Mexico. And they have a cigar shop there. They have two of them. And then I can also buy, when I usually land into Mexico City, they have boxes there where you can buy for duty free. And if I remember correctly, you can bring about a box of cigars into the United States. I think it's a box of Cubans, or maybe two. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's one or two, but they basically levy that restriction. No, it's not Holy de Monterrey. I forgot. Um, so it'll come to me eventually, probably when I'm sitting somewhere else. But yeah, so that's my favorite Cuban cigar. What I'd really like to do with this channel is maybe one day get to where I get enough questions in that I can do live stream answering specific questions, have you guys join with the questions, and I will definitely like to sit down and talk to you guys, light a cigar up, and talk about it. So that's exactly what I would prefer to do. And I also would like to just go live and be able to chat with you guys if you had any questions, comments, or concerns in the video. Like, for example, Alex, you talked to me about, you had questions in the previous live stream that I did about relationships. This one's more about cigars. I could do a lot about cigars, but this is just like a brief overtone. But I got to get out of here because my wife's fixing to be done with whatever she's doing. So I just wanted to pop on here really quick and say hi to you guys. I'm not sure when the next live stream is going to be. I'll announce it so that way you guys know, hey, I'm going to go live at this time like I did. And hopefully I'm not a little late like I was this time. I had to run an extra errand that I wasn't expecting, because another errand that I had, I ended up going into the store, and I was the second person in line. He had to help the first, and then yeah, it ended up being like a 30-minute wait instead of what I was expecting to just go right in and be done. But yeah, so sorry about that. I do apologize, but anyway, thank you guys for stopping by, and I will see y'all sooner than later. Okay, y'all have a good day. Bye.